Welcome into Rob Wright Chef's Pop Culture, and today we're going to count down the top 40 songs of 1984 for the year end on the Billboard charts. And I've got my panel of pundits that will help us count these down and talk about these songs. Let me bring them on here. How's everybody doing this evening? We've got Gary Ambrosia. How are you, Gary?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Robert?
Doing well.
It's good to see you again, buddy. Haven't seen you in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Funny.
Heather L., how's it going, Heather?
Good, doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Glad you're here. We've got Agent Pepsi One. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me as well.
Yes, and we've got Mr. Andy Masterson. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. That's my ear impression, just for.
Oh, bother.
Oh, that's hilarious. And then we've got Stark of Iron himself, Mr. Tony Stark.
Oh, you have a smackerel of honey for me, or...
Hi, how you doing?
Cool. All right. Well, 1984 was a great year for music, and lots of great songs. I think that this top 40 will be great. And then the Hot 100 is just incredible. So a lot of people consider like 1982, 1984, 1986 to be some of the best years for the 80s music. So, and it's music I definitely love. So let's get right in. Let me pull up the slides for 1984 here.
Feels so good not to have to work the slides.
It's not,
Right.
Okay, it's not presenting the right way.
That's right. It's you that has to do that, huh, Andy?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this right for a change.
That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Jiggle the key, pump the gas. Jiggle the key, pump the gas. Don't bog it over. No, don't flood it.
Jeez, man.
It's pretty funny that the guy named Wright is trying to get it right.
Right?
Get that slideshow ready, right, boy. Get that slideshow ready, right.
That's funny.
Okay.
There we go.
So we're going to count them down in tens here. So number 40, we've got Sister Christian by Night Ranger, Uptown Girl by Billy Joel, Here Comes the Rain Again by the Eurythmics, Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol, Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart, Borderline by Madonna, She Bop by Cyndi Lauper, I Guess That's Why They Call It the Blues by Elton John, Stuck on You by Lionel Richie, and to round out this 10, Oh Sherry by Steve Perry.
Oh,
Man, that's a hard choice from the gate.
Absolutely. There's some great songs. So what do you guys
Yeah,
think?
they're awesome.
These songs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can say I know how to play at least one or two verses on the piano with Uptown Girl. So,
Not bad.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd say, I guess that's why they call it the blues is probably one of my, maybe my
God.
favorite Elton John song of all time.
Oh, yeah. It's a great one.
Bernie Taupin's lyrics. Oh, I mean, Elton John's a great performer. I saw him in concert probably like 20 years ago now, but even with his voice and his like just musicianship, without Bernie Taupin, he just wouldn't be, I don't think, anywhere near where he is.
Yeah.
It's just the guy's lyrics are just incredible and so relatable. He must have lived like one hell of a life, or he was just able to like really empathize with other people's situations. I don't know how he always came up with such great lyrics, but to me, that one's a standout. And it's got Stevie Wonder on the harmonica there doing the little harmonica solo, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's my favorite of that bunch. Also, I think Sunglasses at Night for me, I know it's kind of cheesy, but it's so totally 80s with the synthesizer and the video with the sunglasses. That just has kind of epitomizes the 80s right there. So I love that
didn't
one.
know Stevie Wonder was on the harmonica in. Wow.
Yes.
I don't think he did
solo.
either.
He didn't. He just came in. He's like, "What studio am I in? Who am I playing for? Just go
Who
ahead
am I
and do it.
playing for
Let it
today? I don't know.
Bernie Taupin and Elton John had split
Let it
ways
rip.
1975, and this was like 1983, 1984 when they got back together for this album. And so this is one of the hits off of that album. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying I have a special relationship with 1984. It happens to be my birth year.
Yeah.
But you know that Elton John song. I mean, that's off the Too Low for Zero album.
Mm-hmm.
And that is actually my absolutely favorite Elton John album. There's so much good stuff off of that. But the best song, I think, is, again, Too Low for Zero, which is not, wasn't a commercial success. But I've seen the videos for all of these, and I've heard all of these. But, I really think Billy Idol was on its way down at this point in his career. I mean, this was after White Wedding, which was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one more when he did cover the Doors song "L.A. Woman," but I think that's a couple of years later.
Yep.
Well, Eyes Without a Face is unique and it's interesting. He was watching a French horror movie, and it was about a man trying to fix his daughter's disfigured face. And at the end, his daughter basically, lost her eyes and just was awful things happened in this movie.
Yeah.
And so he saw it as the comparison of the moral decay in society. And so that's kind of what the song is about.
And I actually call that song the butt slapper song, because if you look
Really?
at you watch the video, right? And it's got those chicks that come out with the G-string kind of thing, and they've got their butt right in the camera, and right to the beat, the clap goes. They smack their own head, right? So it's just called the butt slapper
awesome.
song, man.
Yeah.
Song.
That's video kicks ass, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, but another one like with Night Ranger, Sister Christian. I mean, you hear that one all the time.
I love that.
All I can think of now to that song is Boogie Nights and that.
Yep.
Like,
Alfred Molina is a drug dealer.
And he gets out the gun and he's like laughing while that thing's banging. It's so uncomfortable.
That is an awkward scene.
What wasn't You Can Still Rock in America on that same album though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Night Ranger's good.
I mean, exactly. They're still touring, by the way, on the casino circuit.
Really? I did not know that.
Or at least they have been, 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know. They're still around, but I mean, once in a while, they're certainly not in their prime, but I would love to go see them.
I'm not surprised. There's so many like older bands like from the 70s and 80s, and they're all still touring. And you look at like so many from the 90s are already gone. Like they got like overdosed on heroin or
thank God.
Right? And then like everyone from the 70s and 80s are just like they're still at it. So
and the Eagles are going to be at the Sphere in Las Vegas starting September, and they're doing their residency there for 3 months. So
but aren't they fighting with each other? The remaining members?
They settled some stuff with Glenn Fry's son, so he's back with them. So,
but
what he was. So.
Hey, has anybody seen the video to that what's his name? Corey Hart? They Sunglasses at Night.
Yes,
it's an extremely dark video.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because he's got shades on the camera.
Yeah.
Well, that too, but that crazy lady that's in that video.
I don't remember.
Is it like a police state and they lock him up? He's in prison, and it's got their chicks.
She throws them into the cell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love it.
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
Very hard.
All of this fits the 80s, though. It's so wonderful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. Great group.
Yeah. And then Madonna's debut album, Borderline. I always liked Borderline. I thought that's Material Girl is my favorite song by Madonna, but Borderline's one of my favorites too.
I've parodied Material Girl, so I'm 1 for 2.
Yeah, I'd have to say that the top for me on this list is definitely "Oh Sherry" by Steve Perry. That song is my jam, dude. I love
beautiful.
that song. It is the greatest song to me ever. I love it.
Yeah.
Great voice when he
Whenever
comes
it
in a
comes on,
cappella. Right, when he
whenever-
just comes in a cappella.
dude, like
great.
when it first starts out with
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
funky keyboard, and then you hear him like belt that first lyric out, and I'm like, oh damn! I'll be at work, whatever I'm doing, I drop what I'm doing. I'm like, nope, can't do it. I gotta sit and jam out.
Yeah.
You know, the worst part about all of these songs is back then they were so overplayed on the radio, it was pathetic.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
We just got on the same rotation over and over and over again. Cyndi Lauper, you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting the Cyndi Lauper song coming on. It was
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was really now I was a big Billy Idol fan, the Ramones, Sex Pistols back then. So Billy Idol was usually he was more of the outcast kind of crowd with this. That was, but all the other ones, it was back. See, what was really cool back then is that you didn't have anybody that was like strictly in one camp. There was a lot of crossover. There wasn't anything that was like, you know, it's like it wasn't if you were just a heavy metal guy or like, you know, the pop person or something like that. You would listen to all this stuff. Now, for me, Madonna, my favorite one of hers is "Crazy for You," but that first album she did was just, you know, she was really something new, so fresh, and like, and that picture of her in the healthy outfit was in the locker room on the track team, and it was like it was everybody's locker. You open up the door and everybody had the poster of Madonna in there.
My favorite track of hers is "Lucky Star."
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that
one.
one's a good one.
Wes
Mhm.
Kegel said in the chat, "Lucky Star." That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lucky
Better
Stars.
than
Yeah.
better than
Let's see.
Borderline.
Yeah, everything on this list, everything on these images here, man,
You know,
top
then-
stuff.
and then you have Billy Joel, and I'm not a fan of I'm a fan of Billy Joel, but I mean, again, I think his career was going down at this point because this is Uptown Girl.
It's a
Well,
good
it's off the
song.
Innocent
Well,
Man album. The Innocent Man album had like several hits.
Yeah, he had a lot of hits. There's actually one of my my honorable mentions. It's later down on the list is "For the Longest Time," and that's like my ultimate, my favorite Billy Joel song. He sings like almost kind of barbershop, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just a great,
good.
great lyrics. I love that song, and that's
Yeah.
it's a little bit further down on the list, further down than 40, but
Yeah, I mean, he's a wonderful entertainer.
mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got to see him in concert when he was passing through here, and he was just amazing.
Which Eurythmics song is on the list here?
Here
I-
comes,
Here comes the rain again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Beautiful
man,
song.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great song too.
you can cross over those in karaoke with Sunglasses at Night.
Yeah.
You can sing them both to the same track.
Oh yeah.
They work perfectly. Yeah.
With the synthesizer, yeah.
Amazing
exact thing.
voice, and I love the.
I think they've done a mashup of that before, like where
Yeah.
they've swapped those. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one surprised me. "Stuck on You" actually at the time was a crossover country hit for Lionel Richie too.
That's a good song.
Yeah. So, and then one other note about Cyndi Lauper's She Bop. It was the reason why there was a parental advisory sticker. It was one of the first ones to get it due to the subject
Oh, wow.
matter.
Really?
Yeah,
What is the
PMRC.
subject matter
Which
exactly?
is funny.
Yeah.
because no one even knew what it was. Most people didn't
Flicking
know.
the bean.
What?
You have to explain it, Robert. Tell us what it's about.
Tell us in anatomically correct detail.
Show us on the doll where she bopped you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even
Please
know.
don't.
This.
It's okay, Robert. You don't have to explain it. We get it. We get it.
No, I didn't even know this at the time. I was like 7, 8 years old when that came out, and I had no idea what it was about. But it's about self gratification. So
It's about
You
pushing
know?
your own button.
yes, it's
Yes.
just
The PMRC back then, led by Tipper Gore, back before her husband got a different hobby, she was all upset about like the lyrics of music. Well,
That's
why didn't
right.
you just listen to the music? Frank Zappa was testifying in front of Congress over this and how stupid it was in the fight against censorship back then.
Yeah. What's his name? Twisted Sister also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dee Snyder. Yeah.
Dee
yeah,
Snyder.
Dee
yeah.
Snyder. That's his name.
Yeah, because we're not going to take it. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. At these
Boy, the
times.
times have changed.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Yep. All right. Anything else about any of these 10 songs that we want to mention?
No, man, I think we covered it. These are great.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
here.
go to the next 10. So got a lot of good ones here. So coming in at 30 is The Glamorous Life by Sheila E. I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman. 99 Love Balloons by Nina. Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder. Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell. I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder. Joanna by Kool and the Gang. Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins. Say It Isn't So by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And Let's Go Crazy by Prince.
Now, fun fact about 99 Luft Balloons is you can't sing that in either German or English without YouTube dinging you, even a cappella. If you are just slightly in key, they get you immediately. I know. I've tried.
Really?
Hmm.
That's surprising.
Well, then maybe sing your own darn lyrics, Tony.
Yeah, no kidding. That's an interesting story behind that because apparently red balloons were floating over the wall and the Russians thought it was something else and they were getting ready to fire their guns and they discovered that it was red balloons. And so
Wow, I didn't
I
know
heard
that.
she made it up because in German it's not
Seriously?
red balloons, it's just balloons.
oh really?
The German version, yeah, it's not red balloons.
Yeah.
And she made it up, like made up a story of they
Oh.
released a bunch of balloons and a military saw it by mistake and it escalated into a huge war. She actually just made it up as like an anti-war anthem.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Yeah,
thought
it's
that-
slightly different in English, but kind of the spirit of it is a little bit the same. But yeah, interesting story
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think Luft balloon translates directly to air ball.
Air, like an air balloon, yeah.
Well, not balloon,
Asian
just
Pepsi
ball.
ones and German
You know,
teachers.
like
teaching
that's why
culture,
the
sure.
word air is in front of it because it's.
yeah, I mean it's Luftballons means balloons.
Mhm.
But I mean, what had happened? They had it was that time. It was the high point of the Cold War, really, when this came out. And what had happened? They had all this disagreement between the United States was stationing these Pershing missiles, and the Russians the SS-20, and there were these huge demonstrations, and they released all these balloons. They signed a friendship, and yeah, I mean they were she was thinking about what would happen if somebody mistook that.
Hmm.
So I mean it was a dangerous time. So
Interesting.
yeah, I mean it's very much an anti-war song.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was
I
a
had
lot
no
of that
idea.
going on back then. You had Sting had I Hope the Russians Love Their Children Too. Genesis had Land of Confusion, where they had the puppets with Reagan and wasn't I don't think it was Gorbachev. I think it was
Yeah.
guy before him. But yeah, it was an interesting time. And 1984 was also the year they came out with that that movie the day after about the nuclear war, and it had the same kind of effect that War of the Worlds had. And I remember getting a knock on the darkroom door in high school, and somebody was like freaking out that did you see that thing last night? And like had to open the darkroom door. Said, yeah, that was fake. Close the door and get back to my work, or Denise Halfman, whichever one it was.
Where'd Heather go?
I don't know. I just
Did
sent her
she
a
get
message.
Duck of Death?
Yeah, she's
Hmm. Come back, Heather. We miss you already.
Yeah, hopefully.
Curious,
Def-
sir. I'm curious, sir.
Well, at least I do. I don't know about him.
I'm sorry, guys. I scared her away.
Well, the Glamorous Life by Sheila E. Sheila E. was Prince's drummer, and Prince actually wrote that song for her. And it's amazing if you go and look at the songs that Prince wrote. He wrote so many hit songs for other artists that people don't realize were written by him.
I didn't know that.
Especially women, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bangles, Sinead O'Connor.
Man, you
oh
guys know a
yeah,
lot
I mean
about this
he
stuff.
wrote
I
all
didn't
these
know anything.
things.
Jeez. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Heather's power
Manic
went out.
Monday.
She's coming back.
Heather's power went out. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's back on, so she's coming back in. Yeah, he wrote "Manic Monday" is what Wes Gagel's saying, which
Yep.
Wow.
that's a great song by the Bangles. I love that song.
Yeah, it is a good one.
But Agent Pepsi One, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying, he wrote Manic Monday, and he did all kinds of other things. And he also wrote songs for, oh, I can't
Nothing
remember.
compares to you, Sinead O'Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I mean,
I think
it's
he did one for the Go-Go's too.
he did several for the Go-Go's, but it's just from 1984. He wrote another one that was really big. I just can't think of it right now.
Sheena Easton, he did a one for Sheena Easton too.
That's who I'm thinking about. It's off the Sugar album, something.
Yeah. Sugar
Yeah.
Walls, was that it?
No, I don't think that's it. But I mean, it's off that album's called Sugar something or another.
Hmm.
I mean, he was very much like Jim Steinman.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Steinman's awesome.
Oh yeah. So great stuff. The other thing is in the 80s you had a lot, and you will see it on this as top 40, is that a lot of movie soundtracks. So you had a lot of soundtrack songs.
Yep.
That were popular. So one of these in here is "I Can Dream About You" from Streets of Fire. Which Streets of Fire is an interesting movie. William Dafoe is a pretty interesting villain. The movie didn't do all that great commercially, but this song was huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there was a big I don't want to say competition, but there was a similarity thing going on with John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band and Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band going on. And it was like, of course, it didn't really pan out that way, but I think it might have been like some orchestrated drama, but they were both pretty regular on the DJ circuit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You talk about the Beaver Brown Band, John Cafferty and Beaver Brown Band. I mean, Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
Not do well in the theaters, but when it hit HBO, it became a cult classic, and his music just soared after it went to cable.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. Eddie and the Cruisers was great, and
Well,
the
the
song,
80s
that
seen
song
that
from
yet.
this list, it's on further down in the top 100 on the
Mhm.
dark side. That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
Hmm.
but no, if you haven't seen Eddie and the Cruisers, definitely
No, I
check it
haven't
out.
seen
Man.
it. I will.
It
I'll check
used
it
to be on cable constantly. Really
Yeah.
great.
I've got a copy of it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Tom Berenger's in it.
Oh God, Gary,
I
you
love-
need to watch. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I will
Really
definitely
good.
check it out, man.
It's good. The Eddie and the Cruisers. The second one isn't as good, but it's got some good songs on it too.
Hmm.
But yeah, you had some of that with some of the music, but a couple of the really good ones. The Rockwell song, "Somebody's Watching Me." Michael Jackson actually does the chorus for that,
Yeah.
and part of the reason for that is Rockwell's dad, I think, was a music producer, and so he was helping his son, and then he got Michael Jackson to do part of that for his son, so his son could have success.
Mhm.
So interesting.
Yeah, I love "Break My Stride." I don't know if you covered that yet. It's
No,
kind of,
haven't.
I think it's a one-hit wonder, right? I never heard.
Yeah, it is.
Matthew
Definitely one hit
Wilder, and
wonder. Yeah.
It's such a happy song, and just I love that. It took I sailed to China in a little rowboat to find you, and you said you had to get your laundry clean. It's just such a goofy song, but I love that one. Just as another one that's just like super 80s. And then
That'd be a fun one to parody, actually.
yes, it would be. That'd be a good one. Another note on Prince. I do love Prince, and that was actually the first concert I went to see as a little kid because my mom was super into Prince. So my mom and her best friend went, and they took me and her friend's daughter and like her little, my friend's daughter's little brother. So that was Prince was really awesome. That it was hilarious watching him. He did like Little Nicky, and we're like little kids. My mom's like, "Oh, this is awesome," and we're just like, "Oh my god, what the heck?" It's like he's doing the whole bit on stage. But also, it's Sheila E. opened for him. I don't really like the Glamorous Life song that much, but she's actually a really good percussionist. So she opened for him, and she did this major drum solo that was really good. She had like these glow-in-the-dark drumsticks and turned the lights out, and you could see her play. It was actually really awesome. She was a really cool opening act.
She was his drummer for a while too.
Yeah, he wrote that song too.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Prince, when you saw him in concert, did he So I've heard that sometimes he will go into some of his songs a deeper cut and do guitar solos. Do you remember if he did any?
Oh yeah, he did a ton of guitar solos. He's like an amazing, like everyone in his band was really good. This was back. I mean, I was a little kid, so this was back. I mean, he didn't have like a huge playlist at that time. This was way back when he was earlier in. But yeah, he did a really long show, an incredible stage production. Yeah, he's great. Like he could play piano, guitar. Yeah, he was an amazing musician, incredible performer. Really, his show was great.
Yeah, I do. I like Let's Go Crazy. I mean, that's off another movie that he produced, Purple Rain.
Yep. And I got something to say about Purple Rain.
Go for it.
My sister used to play that movie on repeat over
mine too.
and over again.
Mine too.
Oh my God, Gary! Oh,
Really?
man. And
Yeah.
yes, my younger sister, who was growing up, in the mid '90s, was swooning over Prince and swooning over, The Time and Morris Day and just
God,
like,
that's
man,
funny. Jungle
Oh
Love.
my God.
yeah.
I
Just-
prefer Prince over Michael Jackson. I think he was
Yeah.
the bigger
Agreed.
talent. You
He
know?
was
I
the bigger
really-
talent. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I tell you, I hated that movie. I hated Purple Rain.
Yeah, the movie's
God,
no
I
big deal,
hated it.
but the
Easy.
album's awesome. You
Yeah,
know?
The
album-
music,
The album
yeah.
was really good, but the movie, oh God, I hated it.
It's just
I'd be
cheesy.
gritting my teeth during the movie listening to it, trying to play Unreal Tournament 99 and stuff. But then whenever the music would play, I would stop, I would pause my game and just go, there's the music.
But you know what's funny?
Also, also, you have to remember too. This is the height of MTV. MTV was like every kid was glued to MTV, and except for 3 o'clock during the week when all the girls would tune into General Hospital.
Well,
Oh,
yeah. Well,
God.
MTV also it's with the music videos for these movies. That was like watching a movie trailer, listening to those songs and seeing the movie clips within some of these videos. And a lot of times they'd come out even before the movie.
Well, this movie, Purple Rain, was like an hour and a half music video, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
much.
And then the movie's just there to show all those songs.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, weren't all these movies really like that? Like Streets of Fire, for example. I mean, that is a music video, more or less.
Streets of Fire was not a music video. Streets
That
of
was a
Fire
good
is
movie.
actually an interesting movie, and I've got a copy of it on Blu-ray, and it's basically the guy's ex-girlfriend gets kidnapped by this biker gang, and he's got to go rescue her. And she's a singer, and that's kind of the storyline. So there's music involved in it, but it's not all about the music. It's not like Purple Rain at all. There's actually a story to it. So
Yeah, I mean, but there were some other songs that came off that. I mean, John Parr, for example, that he had several.
yeah, I can't remember any other songs on that soundtrack.
Naughty Naughty
Yeah,
by John Parr, and he had one
Yeah.
other. I mean, maybe I have. It's been years since I've seen Streets of Fire.
yeah. I mean, William Dafoe's an excellent bad guy in it, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just really creepy.
You know, I don't know if you've ever seen To Live and Die in L.A.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
William
Oh,
Dafoe.
yeah.
That is an amazing. That movie
Yes.
is. Oh my God! It is amazing.
That movie's incredible. That
Mhm.
movie's
Oh, yeah.
really that movie's very realistic too.
Yep.
I will say
It's
that movie
very-
is extremely realistic.
That was another one of those things where William Peterson came that close to making it big, but it just didn't catch on.
I know he even did full frontal nudity too, and he still
Yeah.
didn't was a
Wow.
big star.
Well, you ladies will have to comment on that, whether or not that was an asset or not.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't at the right camera angle to, show us the best side or something. I don't
Hey,
know.
it was cold on set.
Oh man!
I don't know.
What? They showed it off, all right?
So you had a couple of R&B crossover hits right here with Joanna by Kool and the Gang, and I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder, which
That's a beautiful song.
I love that
That
song.
is a good one.
yeah, I love the Stevie Wonder song. Joanna's catchy too.
It is. That's a good one.
I think both of them are really, really catchy. And then
I don't remember the movie The Woman in Red that well.
Oh.
I don't know that the movie was really memorable like the song. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, it's got Gene Wilder and it's got Kelly LeBrock, but that song is pretty good.
oh yeah, that song's
Yeah.
excellent. And then the Thompson Twins, "Hold Me Now."
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, oh my God, I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that song was a result of an argument between the writers, which I think is interesting.
Hmm.
So, very
What
cool.
was-
And then, Hall & Oates, this was towards the end of their big, huge run of so many number one hits. They wrote Say It Isn't So for their greatest hits album, which many artists, as part of their contract, the number of albums they have to create, they often put together a greatest hits album just so they can add another record to it so they don't have to come up with a whole bunch of new songs for a new album and they can get something out quick. But it's not often that you see new songs on them. And I think the 80s was kind of the beginning of adding new songs to greatest hits albums so that they would sell, because greatest hits albums just started to rule the 80s when they were coming out. I know Billy Joel's greatest hits, the Eagles' greatest hits. There are a bunch of them that were
Yeah,
always
but
sellers. Yeah.
but I don't know if you know this, because I collect CDs,
Mhm.
and when you have these compilation albums, they never sound right, because what you have is you have different masterings and they're all put together, and it doesn't really sound right. And if you
Right.
want something, believe it or not, Time Life Music, when they did like the sound of the 80s,
Mhm.
I don't know what they did, but the mastering is spot on all of the songs on their CDs.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
mean, it's absolutely spot on. But for a lot of this stuff, these greatest hits albums, for example, I do have the Hall & Oates one, and you can definitely tell it's not mastered properly.
That is terrible quality, the Hall & Oates one. I have that too,
Yeah,
because
I
I,
mean,
didn't want to buy a bunch of different albums. But yeah, I thought the quality on that is really bad. Like some
Yeah,
CD players, it skips and it's
Oh,
just
really? The
fuzzy and buzzy. Yeah,
rock and roll?
that Hall & Oates greatest hits is like one of the worst quality CDs I've ever bought.
Really?
would
yeah, I
not
mean,
recommend it.
it's bad. It's
It's like
There's-
they just wanted to pump them out, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Billy Idol one that came out in the 90s with all his 80s songs. It's just the same way.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hey, yeah, trivia question for y'all.
Sure.
That Rockwell song back in 1989, when Manuel Noriega, the Panamanian strongman, was removed.
Pineapple face.
Yeah, he hid in the embassy of the Vatican, and the military played that song on gigantic speakers outside of the embassy, and that caused an international incident with the Vatican.
Really? Oh,
wow, really?
did not know that.
Hmm.
wow.
That's
That's
weird.
great.
What is the noise? I could just imagine it now. He's up there, the Pope's up there going, "What is all that racket? Tell them to turn it down or we'll wage war."
Oh, wow. All right. Anything else about these 10?
We covered it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next set. Okay. So on these, so we have, if I can get my screens, that's great. Self-Control by Laura Branigan.
Oh my God,
Talking
awesome.
in Your Sleep by the Romantics. Jump for My Love by the Pointer Sisters. 2 Cyndi Lauper songs, Time After Time and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. The Reflex by Duran Duran.
Reflex.
Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams. All Night Long by Lionel Richie. And Missing You by John Waite.
Mhm.
All bangers.
Yeah,
All.
Yeah, they're
Another
all really good.
another great batch.
I'm not
Yeah,
a Duran
the,
Duran fan.
Why not?
I, it was one of those things. Like there was, I just didn't get it. I was like, it was like all the, you know what? everybody with the pop collar was listening to Duran Duran, and I was not the kid with the pop collar.
Oh, so it was a status thing.
Well, it was kind of like, I don't want to be associated with them because they were all like,
Right.
GQ and stuff like that, and I wasn't. And
Duran Duran was one of the first pieces of music I ever remember hearing when I was 4 years old. That's why I like Duran Duran. It was like one of the first tracks I ever heard.
Springsteen, this was huge for him. This was off of his Born in the USA album, which it blew up like crazy.
Yeah.
And
the video gave us Courtney Cox, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He had John Waite, that Missing You song. That was the ballad, like, all the girls were playing that like all over the place. And Laura Branigan, she had a couple of hits. I think she had that Gloria song and this one, and she was another one that flashed up really big for a while there.
Right.
Cyndi Lauper had like hit after hit on the radio. She was always coming on there.
Yeah, this at Time After Time is my favorite Cyndi Lauper song. I feel like a lot of the other ones are just very poppy, and this one just really had more depth than I would have expected from her. I love the lyrics to it, and that music video, it cracks me up, the intro to it, when she's like in the trailer and she's watching this sad romantic movie and she knows every line and she's hugging that like dog statue. And I think it's like the RCA dog that looks into the record on the label. It's so funny because like it's not even a pillow, it's just this big statue and she's like crying. It's a great video. I love that. Bruce Springsteen too. I love that whole record just has such dark lyrics.
It does.
The music is so upbeat and happy. It's like it's deceptive at first because you listen to the songs and they're all just kind of peppy and upbeat, and then you're like, wait a minute, these lyrics are actually pretty dark. He's not happy in these songs. So
most of that album's that way, Heather. Born in the USA. If you listen to the lyrics,
the whole album is
not a pro USA song at all. That's more of a protest song.
Well, that's what I hate about Springsteen. Here's a guy who achieved the American dream and makes all this music about how it's impossible to achieve the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's a downer. He's like he's not
a little disingenuous.
Oh, more than just a little bit. I mean, he's really disingenuous. But I have to say, I've never been a Springsteen fan. But Born in the USA, I do like the entire CD. I love it, actually. I mean, one or two songs are not terribly good, but the rest is really good. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I understand it was really, really big in '84.
Yeah.
I like the rest of that album. What is the one, I'm on Fire, and
oh yeah, that's my favorite.
Fire is amazing.
Going Down, and the one about the baseball player. What's the name of that song? There's so many good songs.
Oh yeah, where he's Glory Days.
Glory Days. Yeah, I think the album has a ton
I
of
didn't
good
like
music.
that one at all.
I like that song. Just kind of, it's such a typical story of, like where I came from, the small town. All the jocks were like the big deal, and that was their glory days. Was like being a baseball player, football player in high school, and it's just a super small town. They never leave, and it's really it was so accurate.
It was especially
like in my
big.
hometown.
It was especially big here because New Jersey. Bruce Springsteen's from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was actually in a band that was back in the early '70s that was competing against like oh look, here's this this Springsteen kid playing up north somewhere, and then everything just kind of happened. I think he came along really big in '75. I think was Born to Run King.
Yeah, and then he hit it just huge in '84. One other note on Time After Time. She got the name from the movie Time After Time, which came out in like 1979, and it's like a time travel movie.
Yeah,
it's a really weird one.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. Yeah,
it's a weird one, but
it's weird.
Yeah, it's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
it's
and
him
H.G.
coming in
Wells.
modern time. Yeah, and H.G. Wells. So it's an interesting movie. It was kind of weird, but yeah, that's where she got the name of it.
Wow,
I mean, it's no Frankenstein Unbound as far as weird time travel movies, but
Mhm.
Oh, Miskatonic Madman in the chat. Funny story with Hungry Like the Wolf. I had a good friend of mine, Bert Wolf, who was a little heavy, and so when that song came out, everybody in the cafeteria was singing "Hungry Like Bert Wolf."
Hey,
It was terrible. He was a great guy.
hey, Andy, was he just a little heavy or was he really heavy?
I was just like he wasn't Lizzo standards. He was just kind of like
Okay.
he was sort of like Chunk in Goonies,
Goonies.
but like
So Tony standards. Got it.
yeah.
I think the Romantics are an underrated
Oh
band.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep is a good song.
Yep.
They had several other ones. That video is interesting because you've got all these beautiful women that are sleeping, and it's just kind of awkward and weird, but really
Did they
beautiful.
also do "What I Like About You"? Is
Yep.
that them?
Yeah, that's
I
them.
love that song. They
Mhm.
kind of got like an old rockabilly type feel to them. I like just the band style.
Yeah, and then "Jump for My Love," the second song with "Jump" in it in this top 40. That was a real big hit for the Pointer Sisters. They played it all the time on the radio, though. I mean, like Andy mentioned, all these songs got a ton of play, but "Jump for My Love," I feel like there was one point in my life where I heard that every time we went somewhere. So,
And I liked Laura Branigan. She didn't last
Yeah.
very long.
Yeah,
A couple
she
hits
passed.
and then.
Yeah, then she
Great.
passed away of a brain aneurysm, I think it was.
Oh really?
Oh, really?
Wow.
I didn't
yeah,
know
Yeah,
I
she
she
didn't
passed.
know that.
She
Oh,
was
wow.
like 41 when she passed, or
Oh, my
39,
God.
something like that.
Oh wow.
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 Well,
Crap,
Calling
that's young.
Gloria got popular a couple of years ago because the hockey team, the St. Louis Blues, used that as their slang, and they won the Stanley Cup. And so that was their thing to play Calling Gloria after every win. So, and then Footloose the soundtrack was amazing for Footloose.
Yes.
And this is the first one that we're seeing off of that album. There are a couple more in the top 10, but Let's
Yeah.
Hear From the Boy was a big one.
Mhm.
You know, I think I'm the only girl that doesn't like that movie.
Really?
I hated that movie.
That's
Jesus.
not necessarily true. Rancor Steve doesn't like that movie.
Ah, that makes
Oh god.
that makes two.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. So growing up, I was living in Georgia at the time, and the girl that lived across the street, we had cable and she didn't. So she always wanted to come over and watch Footloose when it came on cable, or Grease 2. And so it was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm overly exposed to both of these movies, but I think Footloose is a good movie. But if you've seen it 100 million times, it gets old. But this is one of the first big hits from that, and it was her second #1 hit. And of course, Lionel Richie with this album and All Night Long. I mean, that gets played all the time, and I think
All night long, all night.
so. It had a huge backing with soulful and Caribbean influences on that one. So
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
these on MTV too. Every one of these was on MTV like over and
yeah.
over and over.
yeah, All Night Long was featured on Miami Vice too, which was very popular at the time, and it was a #1 on 3 different Billboard charts. So I think adult, contemporary, R&B, and the Billboard. So
Miami Vice had a lot of popular music on.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
That must have been a huge music budget for that show.
mm-hmm.
Man.
Glenn Fry actually appeared in a couple episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
It became like a cool thing though to be on Miami Vice, just to get a guest
Yeah.
spot. It was like, so I don't know. I wonder how much they actually had to shell out for it because people were like, it was so
Well-
cool at the time. It was so trendy.
And
Yeah.
also a lot of these artists might have been licensed to what was it at the time, MCA or Universal, so they were already obligated to shoot, a Universal
yeah.
show. so they're
Right.
already tied in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point because Glenn Fry had that video that came off Miami Vice, Smuggler's Blues.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that he was with MCA. And but at that time the Eagles had broken up already, and he was kind of struggling. So this, I think, was a means for him to earn more money.
It was
Yeah,
interesting too
Smuggler's Hit
because
was an early big hit after that because Don Henley was really popular and
yeah,
he was able to get like some traction with Smuggler's Blues. It became a big hit for him. So yeah, it's probably promotion. Go on
and
my
you belong
Yeah, I mean,
you belong to the
exactly.
city. That was a
Mhm.
big one too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good track.
Yeah.
Well, that and The Heat Is On for Beverly Hills Cop
Yeah.
also
That's
got
got to
it.
be on this list, right?
It's not on this list because I think because Beverly Hills Cop
Oh,
came out.
that was Beverly Hills Cop 2, wasn't it?
Was it Beverly Hills Cop 2? Okay, yeah, I think it's
Well,
Beverly Hills
yeah, otherwise I think it would have been on this list.
Yeah. But my favorite Glenn Fry solo song is a beautiful song called "The One You Love." I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
know it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's got that saxophone solo that.
Yes.
ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So,
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a beautiful song. But another song on here that we haven't mentioned yet is "Missing You" by John Waite, which I think is a great song. And I didn't know when I researched this song, it was the only record in 1984 to spend just a single week at the top of the Hot 100. And the song's about 3 different women in his life. So his marriage was ending, and it was about his marriage ending and then him starting new relationships after that breakup, which is interesting.
Hey, he was formerly of the Babies, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was a bit. I think this came out right about the same time as St. Elmo's Fire. I'm not sure if it's in the soundtrack or not.
Yeah, St. Elmo's Fire was an early Brat Pack movie that was, really popular too with their soundtrack too.
It could help me climb the highest mountain, some would say.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about these 10 songs?
I'm good.
All right. Let's talk about some of our favorite honorable mentions that are not in the top 40 before we get to the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered some of the ones when we talked about Eddie and the Cruisers on the Dark Side
Yeah.
was on here.
Oh, yeah.
I like that
Great
one.
song.
Had to write it down. The Longest Time was on this list always. I know. 99 was Rock Me Tonight, Billy Squier. And I love
I
Billy
love that
Squier.
song.
No matter what anyone says, I think he was a great singer, even though that video was just horrendous. And I don't know if that really killed his career or not. I know that's the rumor, but yeah, I really love him. I think he was great, and that video is just a tragedy.
Yeah, you know the one when he was wearing that pink shirt. That one.
Yeah, and he's rolling
Yeah,
around on the
God.
floor, and yeah, that's
But he was such a cute guy back then.
he's great. I
my
love that
God.
song. That was one of my favorite songs on this list. What else? The Cars. Who's Gonna Drive You Home? I love that song.
Drive is
Yeah.
my favorite
That
song.
is an amazing
Drive
song.
me
Fantastic.
home
Yeah.
tonight.
Funny, I had that the video where Rick Ocasek turns into All I Want Is You, and he turns into the big fly, and he's chasing around Paula Perskova. A friend of mine, she worked for the local Sony. They used to press CDs at the Sony plant, and they got promotional materials. So she got me this. The Rick Ocasek is the fly, and I had him hanging from my rearview mirror in my car.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that Heartbeat City is such a great album, and I covered it on my channel. So if you want to go look that up. Drive's my favorite song by the Cars, but they had like 3 or 4 hits off of that album.
I gotta go with Peter Schilling. I gotta go with his version of
Tom?
Coming Home. Yes,
Mhm.
I love that song. I like performing that song some nights. Drive obviously is another one of my favorites, but I gotta give it up for KC and the Sunshine Band. Double pun there. See what I did?
Yeah. Yeah, that was towards the end of their career.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's I do want to chime in on Peter Schilling. He's German actually, and that song was originally in German.
Really?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean, yeah, that in fact that whole I don't think it's been ever released on CD. What was that album called it was on? I can't remember the name of the album. It's some strange name, but it's really good.
Mhm.
I
Legs
downloaded
by
it.
ZZ Top is on here too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
another
Love
great
that.
song.
There's
Mhm.
Yeah,
the beginning of their video like trilogy where they're the kind of the angels who give the guy the keys so he gets the girl with their
yeah, but
car.
that's 83 though. I mean,
Yeah.
that is 83.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not on there is Modern Day Delilah by Van Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's actually a country artist that decided to do some fairly heavy rock and roll. And he too passed away really early.
Yeah. Chicago 17 came out around this time, and Hard Habit to Break was
How
the
beautiful.
Yeah.
big
Stay
hit
the Night.
album. Yeah. Stay the Night was the weirdest video. My mom always hated that video. She would always comment about it because he's like on her car begging her to stay. She couldn't
Yeah.
stand the video. And
Yeah,
then Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise.
Quiet Riot.
So,
That's great.
there's another beautiful song on there that I don't think a lot of people know about by Christopher Cross. So everybody knows him from Author's Theme and a couple other things from the earlier 80s. I Think of Laura came out, and it's such a beautiful song. It's about one of his friends that had passed away in a car wreck.
No, it's not.
It's not? Oh, really?
Nope.
It was.
That came out when in General Hospital they killed off the popular character of Laura, of
Really?
Luke and Laura fame. Yes, and that they played that song on. They wrote that song for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'd read that somewhere that it was about a friend of his that had died.
Unless they co-opted the song for the show, but back then all the girls they would rush home from school and I gotta watch General. It was the most annoying thing in the world. And
Really?
well, it was
Just
fun.
in the 80s.
Back then,
God.
there was this thing called a telephone that was actually plugged into the wall with this big ass cord. And if you were lucky, you had a really, really, really long cord so you could go somewhere else and talk without having everybody hear your conversation. And no girls would talk to their boyfriends from 3 to 4 or whatever time it came on. And then afterwards, the phone would start ringing and stuff like that. And so it was this big thing. Everybody was General Hospital was this big thing. It was this big cultural that wrestling. You had Cyndi Lauper did the crossover thing with the WWF back then. It was an interesting time, but that song came out when they played it over and over again. And of course, with the soap opera, they recap the death of the character for at least 6 months. So everybody's still grieving over the character who turned out to not be dead anyway. But
Well,
So,
of course not. They're
Wikipedia
popular.
is
You gotta bring it back.
different,
You
though.
can't kill them.
The soap opera methodology right there.
Yeah.
Wikipedia-
Is that where Rick Springfield got his start? General
Yes.
Hospital? Wasn't
Yep.
he
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
he was
Yeah,
the
he was
hot
a
dude
doc.
on there?
yeah, he was a doctor.
Well,
I wanted to
Wikipedia. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Wikipedia says that Cross wrote the song to mourn the death of Denison University College student Laura Carter, who was killed in Columbus, Ohio, when she
Okay.
was struck by a stray bullet during gunfire in a gang war.
Interesting.
She was a lacrosse player, and her family was visiting for homecoming and had just watched her and her friends compete in the lacrosse match. And she had met Carter through her college roommate, who was dating Christopher Cross at the time.
Wow.
So,
Well,
wonder-
Wikipedia also states that Hitler is Paris Hilton's father. So
Yeah, you never know.
What he
Yeah.
isn't? I didn't know that.
yeah, I
Hey.
know, right? Wikipedia says
I
so.
gotta get the right information.
Who would like to rent out the hotel?
Yeah, I'd say one more note: albums, metal albums. Metallica's "Ride the Lightning" came out. Dawkins'
Yes.
"Tooth and Nail" and Dio's "Last in Line" were all out that year. And I don't know if anyone likes "The Art of Noise," but "Who's the Art of Noise" album came out there. I thought
Oh,
they're
yeah.
really creative with all the different sounds and stuff. It's a cool
Mhm.
album.
You know, I wanted to chime in on something that Andy said. My older sister and my dad used to tell this story a lot. There were these, I don't know what they're called. There were these like chat rooms they had, but you had a call and it was like
Oh,
four
you
or
could
five
do.
cents a minute.
Yeah, you could do
Oh,
like
like the
it was
sex
like a
line?
group call thing. Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. My dad said that he got the phone bill one time. It was like $400. And this
Oh,
was like
Oh,
this was like in '85.
oh
And
my God.
Yeah.
he went like nuts.
Yeah, back then, like long distance calls cost more money, and
Yeah.
it would like add up per minute and things. And then there was always there was this big thing going on all the TV ads for 1-800 numbers, and you could call the psychic hotline and things, and
Mhm.
it was
Tell Miss
crazy.
Cleo all about it.
yeah. The first minute's free, and then
Yeah.
after that, it's like $20 every 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is they're still around because I heard it on the radio the other day. Find true love. Call the California Psychic Hotline, and we will tell.
Really?
I saw
Seriously?
that.
Oh my
I saw
God.
that same ad, but it was for Japanese robots.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Trust me, don't call anybody in California.
Oh, goodness.
You don't want to talk to us, okay?
I can't believe people still call anymore. Their target market must be like the 50 to 80 crowd, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
online.
Older.
I don't know. You
But
know,
It certainly isn't the 30 and below who are going to go, what is the 1-800 number?
What's a phone? We don't know what that is.
Toll free? What is that?
Free?
all right, let's get into our top 10 here. Some good ones here. Calmer Chameleon by Culture Club.
Mhm.
Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr.
There you go.
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Hello by Lionel Richie.
Yep.
Jump by Van Halen. Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now by Phil Collins. Footloose by Kenny Loggins. Say, Say, Say by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. What's Love Got to Do with It by Tina Turner. And When Doves Cry by Prince.
Number one.
Oh my God, they're all nice.
Yeah.
But you know what is missing here? It's like again, this Footloose movie.
Mhm.
Where is holding out for a hero by Bonnie Tyler?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that was the year before. Wasn't that 83?
No,
Yeah.
isn't that not the same movie, Footloose?
Yeah, it
The
is.
song
Yeah,
might have come
that's
out
what I
before
was
a year
saying.
before, though.
Yeah, I think the song came out early because
Yeah.
I think she put it on one of her albums as well. But it's on the
Okay.
Footloose track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, but that song is stupid. That song is
Well,
so stupid.
Ghostbusters.
Where are you
oh
on
my
the wrong
God.
panel? are on
I was
the
waiting for
wrong
Gary to say
panel.
something. I saw his deadpan expression. I knew it.
Oh, man. Are you on the wrong panel?
Gary, there's something called Sigma personalities, and I happen to be one of those. So I just cannot
Yeah.
stand. Look, the movie. I like the movie, but I simply don't like that song. And of course, the sequel was interesting. Okay,
But do you know the story about Ghostbusters? Do you guys know about the song?
I
I
do.
have no idea.
Andy, do you want, or Gary, you want to tell them?
So, Ray Parker Jr. was only given several days to produce this track. And he was given a bunch of temp tracks by Columbia. Said, here, here's the general idea. And one of them was Huey Lewis's I Want a New Drug. And he literally just basically ripped off the song from Huey Lewis and just took the lyrics out and just wrote his own lyrics. That's it. That's how he created the song. And Lewis was pissed, and they went to court over it. And I believe Huey Lewis won. But he couldn't mention anything in the public about the case. And then I think just a few years ago, he mentioned something about it, and then it started going back into court again.
Wow.
But what's funny is nobody makes the same claim about Huey Lewis ripping off pop music by a band called M, which it sounds very much like I Want a New Drug.
Yeah.
It's very true.
So,
I guess,
you know.
I guess at the end of the day, it's hip to be sued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, has anybody ever seen the video for M's pop music? It is really strange, and I would suggest that you watch it.
Yeah. It's
I
pretty
can't
wild.
remember it now. I'm sure I
Oh
have.
my god, it's weird. But yeah, some of this other stuff that's on here, it's really interesting. Lionel Richie's "Hello," I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that song. It just makes me melt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The video is interesting too.
You know, another honorable mention that I forgot to say was "We Don't Need Another Hero" by Tina Turner.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was I think that was the same year as well.
No, that's 85. That came off that.
Oh, is it? That's
Oh,
right.
off
it's
of
88.
Mad Max.
Yeah,
Thunderdome.
Never mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
This is great though. What's love got to do with it?
Yeah.
Check.
It's a good track.
She's in the
Disarm.
video, just got rocking the leather skirt and the heels. She's just
Mhm.
Tina Turner was cool.
Well,
Yeah,
she
she
was
was
44 when this came out. She was the oldest female to ever
Really?
hit number one on the
Yep.
pop charts at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, how old was she? She was in her 50s, wasn't she?
She was 44.
Oh, 44. I thought she was like 50. But yeah,
Hey,
yeah, she was good.
Yeah, and she was on the cover of a magazine there with this fishnet top, just the fishnet top.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Andy would remember that bit.
Yeah.
I was a teenage boy, of course.
Andy wanted to make sure that she knew who ran Bartertown. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I love Owner of a Lonely Heart. Yes.
Oh,
this is-
yes.
This is
Yeah.
great. That's a great
Yeah, that's a
song.
good one.
Van
Um,
Halen was huge with that, with
Van
Jump.
Halen was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love
That's a
them.
cool
That,
song.
Mhm.
That's just so much fun. That one
Yeah.
just reminds you how much fun the 80s were when you look at those guys and the song. And Eddie just looks like he's stoned out of his mind on that video.
probably
Look at his
Oh,
face
yeah.
He
Like-
was.
in a daze. So
Yeah,
But
funny.
the fact that he played the keyboards on that, because everybody talks about how great a guitar player he is, and he's an amazing guitarist, one of the best that ever lived. But he played a lot of the keyboards for a lot of the songs
Yep.
by Van Halen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
And 1984 is a fantastic album. It's one of my favorite Van
yeah,
Halen.
it's great.
Yeah, but Jump, I don't think it was that greatest song off of it. It was very commercially successful, but it was kind of simplistic in comparison to other stuff like Hot for Teacher, for example, or
Mhm.
Panama.
The guitar work is, but there's some breakdowns of Jump. If you hear some musicians break it down, I've seen some videos on it. It's probably more complex than you think at first.
Keyboard
When they
breakdowns.
talk
good.
about some of the chord progressions and just the different backing on it and how it's produced, it's actually probably maybe more complex than it would seem on the surface, and pretty good composition.
Good bridging on the keyboard, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And great guitar solo as always.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Culture Club was huge, and Karma Chameleon, that video was played all the time. It's got like the riverboat gambling thing.
Exactly. I mean, that's beautiful, though.
Yes,
I mean,
love that song. Love Culture Club.
Man, it was so true, that scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because you had some of the girls dressed up that would come into school dressed up as Pat Benatar, and some would come in dressed up as Boy George. And it was the damnedest thing.
weird side of the 80s.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I do have an anecdote to that one. As many of you know, I used to do cosplay. It's the group of girls I was with used to dress up. It's the music video girls. And "Stay the Night" by Chicago was one of the inspirations.
Wow.
So
Picture
I mean,
didn't happen.
what?
Pictures or didn't happen.
I want pictures, okay? I do have some.
Let's see him.
Oh boy.
Screen share.
Prove it.
Nah.
Against All Odds was a good movie too. It was a remake of Out of the Past with Robert Mitchum.
Yeah.
And James Woods, I think, is probably the best. But Rachel Ward and Jeff Bridges were in it. And there's also a track on there from Peter Gabriel called "Walk Through the Fire." But Against All Odds is one of those, like, probably because I had my heart broken so many times in the '80s, it always like struck a chord with me.
My acting teacher was in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's the reporter.
Oh, no shit.
Really interesting.
Wow.
Well, Phil Collins opens up his live performances with Against All Odds. And it was amazing when he did it, even though, he's got back issues and he is kind of confined to a chair. He sounded fantastic on it. And he opens up the concert with just his voice singing the song and the instruments coming late. And it's fantastic. It's beautiful.
Genesis is the first band I saw in concert in 1983.
Yeah. Genesis is phenomenal. I mean, they've got so many phenomenal musicians and some of their stuff in here. And they had a couple of songs on here that should have been honorable mentions too. Let's see, what else we got here? Of course, we got Kenny Loggins' Footloose. That's probably his most. It and Danger Zone are probably the two most recognizable songs by him. The king of the soundtracks.
Yeah, but you know what I'm missing? I'm missing anything from Bananarama.
Cruel Summer.
Cruel Summer
Yeah.
is on the
For
list.
example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's further down, but that
Is
was
it?
there. It's a great song.
Yeah, top 100, yeah.
Yeah, what movie was it featured in? That came out in 1984.
Karate Kid.
Yep.
I'm
It
sorry,
was?
I can't forgive Bananarama for that Christmas rap thing.
Well, Andy, we can sweep the leg.
Christmas rap. What?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a team that I was on that there was an argument about who was better, Bananarama or the Go-Go's.
I would have to go with the Go-Go's.
The
They were,
Go-Go's.
yeah.
Mhm.
No. Bananarama is much better.
You got some bad calls tonight.
Mm.
Jeez, man.
I think the Go-Go's too. I always argue.
You all
for
are
the Go-Go's.
terrible. Bananarama.
Well, I feel like we have learned a little bit more about each other, yes?
Oh my God, y'all.
But,
Lord.
The Paul McCartney song "Say Say Say" with Michael Jackson, kind of repaying
Yeah.
him back and being on that.
Yeah.
Yuck.
I don't think it's really lasted very long. I mean, the
Doesn't
video was
hold up.
made all the time, but I think Paul McCartney was at the end of his career by then. Nothing really stood out to me on Pipes of Peace.
You know, Rob, you are being so kind. He was not at the end of his career. He was well past his expiration date.
True.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I like the Beatles. Amazing.
Doesn't everybody?
Not everybody, Andy.
Not everybody.
Prick.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. But I
I
mean,
thought everybody liked the Beatles. Wait a minute. What?
but he's just, Wings was nice, but I mean, he's just, God, his solo stuff is just boring. And this was a boring song. It's like Ebony and Ivory. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Not a good song.
Hey, what do you call a dog with wings?
Paul McCartney.
Linda McCartney.
Well, there are conspiracy theorists like my mom that say that that's not the real Paul McCartney, that the real Paul McCartney died in 66.
Oh,
Lord,
the dead
of
Paul
course.
McCartney theory. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Rob, your mom's probably right.
And Elvis was actually alive.
Of
Well,
course he is.
Hang on, I'll call my mom. She'll let you know.
Yeah. Elvis didn't die. He just went home.
You beat me to it.
I still live in Graceland.
Yeah. And then number one, I mean, Prince When Doves Cry. I mean,
Oh my
the
God,
solo on that, the solo guitar on that was amazing. But the most interesting thing about that song is that it didn't have a bass line to it at all. And Prince played all the instruments on the recording of that song. And in concert, they add a bass line to it, but it didn't have a bass line originally when he recorded it on that album.
It's just the keyboard and that synthesized drum beat. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guitar is like fire though in the beginning. I love that guitar intro.
yeah.
It's just great.
You know the lyrics on that song when he talks about the parents. You know what he talks about. He really talks about the negative aspects of the parents. How how the mother is will not compromise, and the father does this and that, and I thought that was really amazing.
Animals strike curious poses.
Yep. So, anything else about this top 10?
There's so much missing. There is so much missing. There's so much that shouldn't be there.
I really like
every episode.
The songs that were lower on the list. Most of those I liked better than the top 40. Like 60 to 100, there was a ton of great songs on there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's how they sum it up for the year, but a lot of good songs further down.
I'm fighting the urge to break out and sing half of them. I mean,
well, and I think how they did most of the songs is that how they sold as singles for the Billboard. And, a lot of these artists, so, part of the reason why Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, because they were hot at the time and they had the bigger studios that would sell more of the albums to the DJs and stuff. But I think some of these other, I agree, a lot of the songs lower on the list were better and hold up better in our time.
Yeah. How about Frankie Goes to Hollywood?
Yes, love Frankie.
I mean, where is that?
Go to war.
Exactly, that one, and Relax, and I mean,
great album. I think back though in this era, you still could buy like entire albums versus singles. Like today, it's gotten really bad, but and even like through 90s, early 2000s, but early 80s, you could still buy an entire album and it was still really good. And like early when you're still listening to cassettes, it kind of had to be at least listenable because you couldn't really get easily to songs. You had to kind of listen or flip it over and maybe listen to the song on the other side. And so then you could get back to the song you liked, but it wasn't convenient. But still, I just remember back then I had so many cassettes when I was a kid and I would listen to the whole thing. It wasn't really just the single. I mean, everyone still had good albums then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do too. And then how many of you guys would record off the radio?
Oh, yeah. You run to the radio, press record when a good song comes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Always have that. And then also you could share, if you had the dual cassette recorder.
Oh, yeah.
You could record, make a copy of it for your friend or make a mixtape for the girl. So, I don't know.
Mixtape.
You may know more about mixtapes than we
I
do.
had like 100 mixtapes. Love it.
So, all right,
Had
let's
Scandal on here too with on the it didn't make the top 40, and that was Patti Smythe. That Bon Jovi was actually
the Warrior.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bunch of little hits back then in the early 80s. I think they might have topped out with the Warrior, but it was a pretty good band there with I think Patti Smythe. I think she went on and married John McEnroe.
Yeah, I mean she got married and then she left the music business. Really.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, The Warrior is a great song. Weird video, but great song.
Yeah, but her outfit was so 80s. You know it.
Yeah.
Her outfit was so 80s in the 80s.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly.
I miss the 80s.
Can't beat the 80s fashion.
The motherfucking
hair. You had to get the Aquanet out. And
I had great hair in the 80s.
wear the hair up. Get the big old shoulder pads and some zippers all over everything.
Heather, don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. I got the fishnets too, so don't tempt me.
The lady's going to dress up like the Legion of Doom. Here we go.
Well, then you had
Yeah.
other stuff like jams and other baggy pants too, and let's not forget the exercise gear from the 80s.
Oh my god.
With the girls with the jazzercise
The leg warmers and
Oh my god, yes.
oh, I see. Nobody told me John Lennon is 81. I like that song. Nobody told me there'd be days like these.
Oh yeah,
John Lennon.
Hey, didn't his son Julian have a song in 84, 85? Something about playing guitar on the river, something like that?
I don't remember that.
I don't know.
I remember living in a van down by the river.
So, Andy, do you need me to add this?
Yeah,
icon?
go ahead, put it up there. That was 1987.
Nice.
Oh wow, nice.
Those
Glorious
were
Mark
the
there.
days.
You got like a John Stamos haircut going on there.
Oh
Cool.
god, that
Dude.
reminds me of somebody. I just can't.
So
I got a picture of me from 1984. Here, I'll email it to you.
He in a diaper.
Robert, if you want to show that.
Andy,
Yeah, you're not getting one from 1984 from me, so forget that.
it kind of looked like you was about to unveil a teleportation device, Andy. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, yes. Well, you see, it's like you're so busy worrying about if you could make it, you didn't worry if you should.
I know. Oh, wow. Dinosaurs in our fly exhibit.
So, yeah, 1984 was a great year. The other thing about 1984 that we should maybe do another live stream on is the movies of 1984 were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best movies from the 80s came out in 84. And I think we've covered a lot of them on Pop Culture Breakdown as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to do it because then Agent Pepsi 1 can have something good to say about Ghostbusters.
If she has anything good to say about Ghostbusters.
I just don't like the music. Oh my god.
Oh, lady, boy.
Uh,
Boy, oh boy. Did you get that email, Robert?
Pulling it up. Hang on. Oh, yep, got it. Hang on.
This is me in
a
1984.
baby picture.
Okay, hang on.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, geez,
It's not naked in the bathtub, is it?
No.
Maybe it is.
Because Robert was trying to keep it clean here.
Hold on.
I actually have one that's just from me in the bathtub from 84, but
Here we go.
oh my god.
It's funny.
There he is.
Love the haircut.
Yeah. My mother loved to give me that haircut.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
came around with like that 3-pointed dagger, did they?
There you go.
They haven't found me yet, Andy.
Was this taken at a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit?
Of course.
I don't know where it was taken. I have no
Oh,
idea.
boy.
But look how happy I was. Jeez,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life.
Gary,
Like,
Gary, I know you're a Star Trek fan, but now be honest, does that haircut not look like one of the Romulan haircuts off the...
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Totally look like Denise Crosby. You know, it totally looked like her.
oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Andy's got another one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
here
think that
we
was
go.
my hair at my longest.
Oh, wow.
Nice business in the front, party.
No, it was
Nice.
all long everywhere. It just got so curly. Well, Gary's seen my son's hair, so like it just poofs up.
Yeah. Yeah, his son won't shave his face. He looks like a terrorist. It's really
He does.
funny. But yeah, Andy was like, I think that Putin was trying to copy Andy when he saw him shirtless on a horse, and he was just kind of a shitty copy of Andy's real picture of a real man on a horse.
I don't wrestle better. I wrestle
Yeah.
better.
Exactly.
He ended up looking more like Dave
Hang
Mustaine
on,
anyway.
I'm gonna go
so,
get a
I mean,
picture of me. Continue the conversation about 84. I've
Yeah.
got a picture of me somewhere.
Just take
Yeah.
Dave Mustaine and remove the long hair, and you have Vladimir Putin. Check it out.
I don't
Oh,
know
no.
who Dave Mustaine is.
Megadeth.
Megadeth.
I don't listen to that shit.
That's
maybe
okay.
I did.
Heather
I don't know.
Heather L and
I
I will
did.
enjoy our
I
metal.
know. I
You
got
know,
you,
peace
Tony.
sells, but who's buying?
Yeah, peace sells.
Yeah,
but who's buying?
exactly.
Did our host just get up and walk out?
He is
Wow.
grabbing.
Yeah, you got him
Yeah,
hunting for
tired of
baby
us.
pictures now.
Yeah, he's like, you guys run the show. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Carry
Yeah,
on.
he just got tired of us. Get the
I
hell
don't
with it.
have anything prepared. Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, Tony, sing something. Keep us entertained. It's the song break right now.
Just make sure he doesn't get dinged for copyright. Don't sing
That's right.
99 Love Balloons or anything.
Right,
like
right,
that.
right. Maybe I got a short.
That's right.
Yeah, I could sing like a small parody. Hold on. Let me pull one up.
You should have already had it ready, man.
Yeah,
That's how
come
this
on,
works.
man.
Come on, man.
Oh.
Now. See,
Right.
he's back.
Too
There's
late.
a big
You're
ready
missing
for
the
it.
chance, man. It was your big
Right.
chance.
I heard you.
Come on.
Darn, Rob was looking for that picture he took when he was hanging out with Ron Jeremy.
There you go.
I was 7.
Hey,
Yeah.
Agent Pepsi 1, James Caserta's telling you, camera on now. Like now. That's what he
Uh-oh.
said.
Lloyd.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
what did I tell
Lloyd.
y'all? I'm a Sigma personality. I
What does
do
that
my
mean?
own thing.
You got a picture of her right now in her avatar. So.
Okay.
Robert Wright, do you have the picture to show?
No, the books that I have with all the pictures of me only go through Christmas '83. So
All right.
You could have lied.
I guess I'll just put this parody song back up.
Better have it for next stream.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll have it for
Slacking.
85. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I'm going to let everybody plug away at anything they have on their channels or anything we got coming up. Gary, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I think remind me of the date, Robert, is July 12th, 13th, and 14th,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You and Robert and I, are going to be at the Fanboy Expo in Knoxville, Tennessee. So if you're in town, show up, man, and hang out with us because we have no one to drink with.
When is that again?
Oh my God, the guilt tripping is real.
What's that? What-
It's dark. You better be there.
Anyway.
Me with libation and going for the big guns.
Yeah, it's
When
on
is
the
it?
12th, 13th, and 14th. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and then a little bit of Sunday. We're probably going to have to cut out on Sunday a little early, but we will be there Friday and Saturday all day for sure. So come and hang out with us. And if you are so inclined, come by on Wednesday nights to Dick Van Doomcock's channel and check out Pop Culture Breakdown, where there's a couple of people on this panel that join me and our overlord, Doomcock, and we watch these wonderful things like Star Wars and Doctor Who and
And STD.
yes, and we have a lot of STD. We have a whole lot of STD.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
yeah.
Yuck, STD.
Good to see you guys. We'll catch you later. Keep checking out Robert's channel. He's got good stuff.
Tony,
Yes,
what
he
you got
does.
going on, Tony?
Well, it's going to be quite a long endeavor since before I stream with Gary and Andy again, and by that I mean it's going to be in about an hour and 35 minutes for the Tower After Hours, which will be just an hour of us jawing about model making and props and all that good stuff, that YouTube life. And then for those of you who like to party with us at the castle, same channel, Dick Van Doomcock's channel during Friday Night Frolics, and don't have this thing called sleep on your agenda or you're on the other side of the planet. I keep the party going afterwards into the wee hours with more of the same but different. And and that's about it.
Heather, I know you're not a YouTuber, but do you have anything you want to plug or talk about?
That's right. Unlike Mexican Iron Man, I'm really not a YouTuber. The only one. But, just join us on PCB and Friday Night Frolics. I'm always in the chat wrenching and love to see everybody there.
You're great, Heather. Thanks for all the work that you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
Fantastic. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Have fun.
Ancient Pepsi One, anything for you to plug? I know you used to have a channel. I don't know if you update it very often or have done any videos recently.
I have actually. I've posted some new things, but it's just
Cool.
so hard to find stuff on my retro channel. It's just hard to get things, but do come by, see the retro channel. I have all kinds of stuff there, from history and fashion and all kinds of other things. And once again, yes, do go by Doomcock's channel. Friday Night Frolics is my favorite, although I admit that sometimes I do conk out kind of early. And for you, Robert, thank you for having me. I love being here.
Cool.
What's the name of your channel again, Agent Pepsi One?
I'm just go on YouTube, look for Agent Pepsi One, and you'll find it.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna subscribe.
Please do.
Yep. And then Andy, I know you run a YouTube channel and have a few things.
Yeah, one of these days I actually have to put up some more videos again, where I make cool 1/6 scale figures, and they could be anything. You could even have Dracula, Gary Ambrosia.
That's cool. I want one of those.
Yeah.
I don't have one of those. I want one.
Mexican Iron Wolfman.
That's
You could have Nosferatu Rancor Steve.
He's getting set up for Halloween.
Uh-oh,
But-
he's gone.
That is what I do.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He
Camera.
disappeared.
You push hit the button, sir.
Put
It
your
was
camera
not the
back
right
on,
button.
dude. The ladies are leaving. Turn it back
I
on.
know.
He's
Push it
losing
to
his
button.
audience.
Ah. So anyway, yeah, that's the Laboratory of Mayhem,
Jeez, you
and
boomer.
it's yeah, I know it's a terrible thing. That's what happens when you get old.
Dang. I was gonna say, for those videos, man, you need to go back to the old style. Shirtless, grow out your hair.
Yes.
Just get all the
Yeah.
women. The
Told
women
you,
subs,
dude.
just turn the camera on while you're making
Andy
the toys.
and I have a plan. We're gonna roid out together. We're gonna get yoked, and then we're gonna do pop culture breakdown shirtless. So
Grow
We're
the
gonna
hair
do
out
it.
like Fabio again. Your female subs will just skyrocket.
I know it.
Get it
Good.
I
going.
know it.
Where's the juice bar? Is it this way?
Like that, dude. Swear to God, dude. The guy from the neck down is better looking than I will ever look in my life, dude. From the neck down.
Yeah,
Ripped,
growing out my
bro.
hair isn't going to work in it too well anymore. Else I'd look like that guy from Riff Raff in
Riff Raff.
through the time warp again.
Riff Raffy. Nice.
And then my channel, I'm going to do a review of Terminator 2 because my fans have requested it after doing a video of Terminator. So if you get a chance, watch that video. It came out last week. And then Pop Culture Breakdown. The movie's been posted. It's Johnny Dangerously. So
Okay.
it'll be
One of
pretty
my
fun. We'll
favorites.
have a good time. One more thing. So
I
You
watched
guys
that movie
really
once.
got to do Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes,
some
yes,
point.
we
I
do.
agree.
That's-
Buckaroo
that's-
Banzai.
And Revenge of the
I've spoken
Nerds.
to Bandit yet
Speaking of
either.
1984, Revenge of the
If-
Nerds as well.
If you
But
guys
yeah.
do Buckaroo Banzai, I'll do a John Big Booty intro for it. And I got a
love that.
decent John Lithgow too. So
Mm.
It's Big Booty.
that's Big Booty.
But anyway, thank you so much, folks in the audience, for watching the channel. Thank you so much for listening to us talk about the 1980s and the great 1984. And come back next month when we do 1985.
Ooh. Power of love, baby.
Yep. With that, we'll say adieu. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Have a
Night.
wonderful time.